guys, today we're going to start talking about what biology is and what it means to be living. So I need you to pull out your biology introduction syllabus and turn to the third page where it says characteristics of life notes. And these are all the notes that we're going to take today. So the first question that we need to ask ourselves is, what is biology? And if we look at the word biology, bio right here means living and ology means life. So biology is the study of life. So from there we need to ask ourselves, what exactly does it mean to be living? So we're going to take a look at a couple of pictures. First we have this elephant. Now this little baby elephant, he looks like he's having a good time, taking a bath. Is he alive? And how exactly do we know that he's alive? That's the big question here. How about this guy? Looks like he's on life support. Looks like, some people have laid a prayer rug on him. Is he alive? Even if he's on life support, is he alive? And now this sweet little angel baby. Do you think that this baby's alive? And what about this? This is some slime mold. And we have to ask ourselves, is this slime mold alive? And what does it mean for this slime mold to actually be alive? So in order to determine if something is living, we have 6 things that we have to look at. We have to see, is it ordered, which means, is it made up of cells? Is it able to reproduce by passing on its DNA? Can it transform and use its energy? So that's metabolism. Can it respond to the environment? And is it able to maintain life processes in a changing environment? And can it grow? So let's break these things down. First off, cellular organization. Any living thing is called an organism, okay? All living things are composed of cells, and cells are the smallest organized unit that carries out life functions. And whenever we talk about cells, we also have to talk about the hierarchy of cells. So if we take a whole bunch of cells and we put them all together, then we're going to get tissues. And then we take those tissues and we put them together. So maybe some stomach tissues. We put them together, we're going to get a stomach or an organ. Okay, then we put a whole bunch of different organs together, like our stomach and our intestines and our mouth and our bowels. And now, all of a sudden, we have an organ system. And whenever we take all those organ systems and we put them together, so our nervous system, our integumentary system, our skeletal system, our digestive system, we put all of those together and we have a body system. Now, there are 2 types of organisms. There are unicellular organisms, like these protists right here, and they're composed of only one cell. And then we have organisms that are made of many different types of cells, like this little guy. Where do you think that he might live? Here we see a plant cell. I know that it's a plant cell because it is square. Okay, plant cells are normally going to be more squared off than animal cells will. And so we're looking at a slide. I'm going to guess that this is probably like an onion. And we're going to look at this slide and we're going to be able to see that these cells are nice and neat and organized and stacked together. Okay, here we see an animal cell. I know that it's an animal cell because it's round. And you can see that it has all of these different things in it. Okay, we've got a nucleus, we've got some Golgi bodies, we've got all sorts of stuff that we're going to learn about in a couple more units. And so that's another thing that we talk about whenever we talk about cellular organization. Now, like I said before, biological organization. We start with a cell, we move to tissues, we move to organs, move to organ systems, and suddenly we have an organism. Now, in order to be alive, there are functions that organisms have to go through. The first function is metabolism. You might have heard somebody talk before about, well, I can eat whatever I want because I have a fast metabolism. Well, metabolism isn't just about how fast you can digest food, and it's about how your body uses that food for energy and how quickly it uses it. So metabolism is giving us energy so that we can grow and move and develop, repair damage, and reproduce. So if we take a look at this little guy, he is eating. The reason that he's eating is so that he can get some energy. Now, another function of life is transport. This is moving substances. So sometimes our cells need to take in amino acids so that they can build a protein. Sometimes we need to move waste out of organs or into organs for excretion, which leads us into excretion. Excretion is getting rid of wastes, okay? So our kidneys work to remove the nitrogen waste from our blood. Now, I do want to point out to you that whenever we talk about excretion, we're not talking about poop. Okay, poop is not something that your body has made. Poop is just what's left over from what you've eaten and your body can't handle. Okay, you're going to excrete from your bladder, so your urine, your sweat is excretion. Okay, those are things that are excretion because those are things that your body has made. Now, regulation. This is the control and coordination of an internal environment. So this is maintaining homeostasis. If we break down this word, homeo means the same. Stasis means to stay. So homeostasis is to stay the same. So for example, if you go outside right now and it's really cold, you're going to shiver, okay? And that's going to help your body warm up. Just like this dog right here, the reason that he's panting like this is because he's too hot. So his body is trying to cool down. Okay, respiration, you know what respiration is. This is just gas exchange. Okay, it's breathing in oxygen and breathing out carbon dioxide for us. For plants, it's the opposite. It's taking in carbon dioxide and letting out oxygen. But you know what? We're going to have a whole unit on those two things soon. Okay, nutrition. Look at these little cows. How many of you have cows at home? I do. Nutrition is just the production, digestion, and absorption of nutrients that we need for synthesis. So we take in that chicken, we break it down into protein, which then breaks down into amino acids, and then we use those amino acids to synthesize or to build things. Okay, synthesis, making needed substances. So you guys know what photosynthesis is. It's when the trees take the light from the sun and they make glucose out of it, okay? Same thing works with us. We take amino acids, we build them into proteins, which then builds our strong muscles. I hope your muscles are stronger than mine. Now, reproduction. Reproduction is any time that we make another organism or when we make another cell. Okay, and we do this through cell division. It could be mitosis or meiosis. And again, we're going to have a whole unit on this. Are you starting to see the trend here? There are two types of reproduction. The first is asexual. The prefix a means not or without, so without sex. This happens when there's only one parent and the offspring are exact copies. Okay, I like to think of this as like what my toe does. If I cut my toe, it's gonna heal itself. Okay, I didn't have two cells get together and have a good time, right? I just had one cell that kept reproducing to heal itself. Sexual reproduction is how you came along, okay? You got a mama, you got a daddy, they come together, they have a good time, and suddenly we have a new baby. So here I've got some pictures of reproduction, okay? Sexual reproduction. Here we have a sperm going into an egg. Here we have some sort of cell that's dividing. And here, if I take a plant and I cut just a little bit off it and I plant it, then I'm suddenly going to have another new plant. Okay, the next thing that we've got to talk about is growth. Growth is simply an increase in size. It's something that my son's doing. You know, I keep putting books on his head. It's not working. He still keeps growing. The way that we grow is by making more cells. Our cells don't get larger. We just have to make a lot more of them so that we can grow. And then development. This is how our body goes through physical changes, okay? You're currently going through this. You're going through puberty. In a butterfly, they're going to go through metamorphosis. So they're going to start out as a larva. They're going to turn into a caterpillar and then the adult butterfly, okay? And then they're going to lay some eggs and we're done. Same thing with frogs. We have tadpoles, we have eggs, etc. So I want you to turn your page over now. And you should have a chart that looks like this. And I'm going to go through these pictures and show you some different pictures. I just want you to check off which life characteristics you see here. So we're going to start with the flame. And you're going to ask yourself, is this flame made of cells? Does it respond to stimuli? Does it maintain a balance? Does it have some sort of homeostasis? Can it grow and develop? Can it reproduce? And does it use energy? Does it have metabolism? And from there, you're going to decide, is it living or not? And tell me why. So, there's your flame. Next up, we have some bubbles. And a seashell. I'm not quite sure if there's actually something in that seashell or not. Here we have Nemo. Remember, Nemo lives in an anemone. He had a lot of trouble saying that in the movie, too. Here we've got some potted plants, some different types that you might see in somebody's house. And finally, we've got some cut flowers, like what maybe you should be taking to your mom or your grandma or your aunt, or maybe even Miss Pritchard because you love her so much. So that's it, guys. I want you to answer that last question, and don't forget that you're going to have a quiz on these notes in a couple of days, so make sure that you've got all of your notes filled out, you've gone back, you've paused, you've rewound, you've filled everything out so that way you can do well on your notes, on your quiz, I'm sorry. I hope that you guys have a great rest of the day. I'll see you soon.